The reason I chose the child, the city, and the power of play is because the child and the power of play are so seldom taken into account by contemporary architectural practice and architecture schools, and it's a pity because I think the child is a very important component of the city. The child becomes a very, very important social and cultural entity in the post-war period, and the child has become a very important presence in all kinds of fields. Architecture is an exception, and it's about time that it took children seriously. There are lots of different kinds of public space in traditional cities. One is shopping. Another one is just walking up and down boulevards and looking at other people, other people's clothes and other people's dogs. And the tendency has been for this new kind of urban fabric to show up in cities, which is residentially intensive. And that where there's a lot of residential component, there are a lot of children. And so the playground is assuming more and more, has assumed quite a strong potential in terms of its capacity to act as public space. Children are the point of least resistance between groups. Everybody loves everybody else's children. The first people you meet when you walk into a neighborhood are the children. They're the most open, the most friendly, the most curious people, and people are always moved by children. And so I think it's not only a good basis for public space, but it's a very good basis for enhancing public space in a sometimes more difficult situation, which is a multicultural one. A lot of the playgrounds that are really wonderful and beautiful tend to be for more privileged people, and play is a very important aspect in integrating people, everyone in society. I have two areas of interest. One is the formation of the modern in architecture, and it's something that I started working on with Alex from the very beginning. And we published a book on the emergence of modern architecture from the 12th to the end of the 18th century, which I'm fascinated by. And then I'm also interested in the post-war period, in a world that's very, very different from what preceded. I mean, every so often, we're in Western culture has been in constant evolution ever since the very beginning, and it's never the same. It's always changing. But I think the transformation that the world has gone through since World War II is unequaled, really unequaled. Changes are happening at such a huge scale and at such a huge speed that we really have trouble digesting the whole thing, understanding the whole thing, more so than ever before.